Once we have a recipe for a new metal, how do we find out if it lives up to its initial promise? Dr. Nick Jones from Cambridge University invited me along to the Department of Materials and Metallurgy to find out more about the process, and he also joins us in the studio now. Nick, thank you ever so much for coming in.
Absolute pleasure.
So we've heard from Roger that you get given this sort of recipe. Where do you then start?
Well, as Roger said, they can be either given to me on a bit of paper as weight percents or atomic percents. If they're atomic percents, then I need to convert them into something a bit more useful for me, which is weight percent. And then I'm into the lab to go to our raw elements cupboard, where we have a whole variety of little pots containing pure elemental metals. And then I start weighing them out, just like you would for baking in a kitchen, only with a little bit of a more accurate set of scales.
How important is it that it's accurate? If you're getting atomic percentages, then presumably your measuring has to be incredibly accurate.
Well, obviously, the more accurate we can be with the measurements, or I make as the measurements before I start making these things any further, the more likely we are to actually be on the composition that's been specified. So if I muck it up at this stage, very much like your cake, it's not going to be what they asked for, at which point someone like Roger gets probably quite annoyed with me and I have to have another go.